Hey, welcome back to DIY Willy. Today we're working on Briggs the Briggs. The cylinder on Briggs looked pretty bad. It was scored bad. You can actually feel it with the fingernail. It was glazed over pretty good, and well, if you remember, Briggs, when it ran, had a lot of blow by. Ran great. If I didn't do the compression test correctly, I should have took the carburetor off, but I did a compression test and it was low on compression. So it could be the scarring in the cylinders, or excuse me, the scoring in the cylinders. And I tried to hone it out. Being an aluminum block, or cool bore they call it, I didn't want to use too aggressive of a stone, and I tried to use 400 grit honing stones. I don't like the results of it. It didn't cut as much as I wanted it to, and you can still see the scoring, and the hash marks are not that great. I just think it could be better with something a little more aggressive, and actually the stones wore out pretty fast. So I didn't want to try it, but I do have my 220 stones here, and I'll put them back on the honing tool and maybe see if I run it a little bit more with the 220, if I can take some of those marks out. I don't want to go too big. It's really hard to find another piston for this engine. If I could get, this is a standard bore right now, if I could go 10,000, I think they have 15,000s or 10,000s, 15 and 20. If I could find one of those pistons, then I wouldn't mind honing and honing until I get the bore or the cylinder to look correctly. But I think I'm going to try the 220 stones in there just really quick, put a lot of oil in there and just zip them in and out really quick a few times, and see if I can just get rid of some of those marks. I don't want to go too much, like I said, because I don't want to oversize the cylinder too much, and it is aluminum. So I've already ran the 400 grit stones in there quite a bit, but there's still some weird looking spots in there. And if I get a chance, I'll put some pictures right here of before and after I did the hone. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and swap out these stones back to the 220 stones, and we'll give it another shot. We'll run it down a couple times and see if it works any better. Like I said, I don't want to go too far because it is an aluminum bore, and I don't want to oversize the cylinder too much. I hope I haven't done that already, but it's not. I think I still got a little bit of room. So we're going to give it a shot. Hopefully I don't damage Briggs the Briggs. There are other blocks out there I can get. I do have another 3 horsepower block that we can always go to if I need to, but yeah, let's try to keep Briggs the Briggs intact here, my snowblower engine, and see if we can do it. We'll swap out these stones and just run it in and out a couple times, see if it looks better. All right, I have the block, Briggs block, set up inside the vise here to hold it. I've got the 220 stones ready. We're gonna grease it up really good, or oil it up, and try it again. Cross our fingers, cross your fingers. Let's hope this doesn't destroy the block. I've already oiled everything up. Oil the stones, try to keep this as level as I can. And here we go. Let's clean it up and take a look. So continuing that work with Briggs, I broke out my my bench grinder with the flexible shaft tool on it, the rotary tool. That video will be a Tool Tuesday video if you want to see that video and what I did with it and how well I like that little flexible shaft. I don't know if it'll be posted at the time of this video, but it might. It turned out really good. I could have probably went a little bit deeper, but honestly, you know, it's Briggs. You know, I don't have a lot of performance in it. I just wanted to make it that much better. So I smoothed out the intake and exhaust ports. I left the intake a little bit rough. You know, that's for atomization of the fuel and to carry it through. But I opened it up, I match ported it, and I did take out some of the threads on the exhaust side just to smooth it out a little bit and just make things a lot better. Let's take a look at that. So here it is. You know, everything looks really good. Now there's a lot of cleanup on the block I need to do. I also took the tool and went inside and cleaned out the airways there. It just took, there was a lot of material here from when they cast the block that I just took out and cleaned it. So yeah, I've got a lot of cleanup now to do. This little rotary tool on my bench grinder worked perfectly. And I gotta get all this aluminum shavings out of here and get the block all cleaned up and ready for assembly now. Well, first of all, we need to lap the valves. We need to get the seats ground down a little bit with the grinder, with the valves, and then lap the valves in before we put them in. We'll probably use the new valves. Not sure yet. The old ones, there's nothing wrong with the old ones. We're definitely using the old springs because we got the plastic cam. Oh, I did get a new plastic cam. I made a comment in my last video about Briggs that the lobes were kind of flattened out on top. And somebody else left a comment. I don't remember who it was. I'm sorry. Left a comment saying, hey, maybe you should see if the lobes are supposed to be flat or if they're just worn out. And it was a good thing I did because the new cam wasn't as worn out as the old one. So I'll be definitely using the new cam, getting better lift on the valves. So I appreciate that comment because the cam wasn't that expensive either, and it's black. It looks better than that yellow, dingy yellow that was in there. So yeah, it's time to get this thing cleaned up, all this mess, and get all the dust and dirt out of the block, and get the valve guides cleaned out, make sure they're good, and then we'll take some sandpaper and do the valve seats and mount the valves. All right, so we're trying to clean up the valve seats and get the valves lapped in. I saw a trick like this. I think it was Terrell did it, where you put the sandpaper around the valve like that. You stick it in the hole, push down, and then just go back and forth, you know, rotating it like we do when we lap the valves. That way it kind of cleans the seat, kind of smooths out the seat, and you know, things like that. So that'll be in preparation for getting to lap it. It cleans it up pretty good, and it doesn't clean the back side of the valve, but we'll do that when we lap it. So now it should fit in there, and it should make a pretty tight fit once we lap it in too. So now Briggs valves are a little bit different. How they lash. I sometimes get lash and lap confused, but these are the original valves from Briggs, and they were lashed previously, so I don't think it's going to be that much of a problem. Now, because we are doing the work we're doing to the seats and the valves on the top by re-lapping them and cleaning the seats off with the sandpaper, it may go down a little bit more, so we may have to grind the bottom of the valve to get the proper lash. So we'll get to that when we come to it, once we have the cam installed and the lifter up inside there, so we can see how far off we are. But I'm pretty sure it came down a little bit since, and we're gonna have to grind the bottom of the valve slightly to get the proper valve lash. And I think it's somewhere between like 4 and 8 thousandths or something on the exhaust, and I don't know, 2 and 5 thousandths or something on the intake. I'll have to double check all that. I don't remember exactly off the top of my head, but you know, we've done it both, the sandpaper now on both the exhaust and the intake side. We've blown it all out. We cleaned it. We checked the guides. Everything looks good. And I'm going to go ahead now and lap them in. You've seen me do this before, so I'm not going to try to set the camera up and film it. But we'll definitely talk about it when I get it done. And once we have them lapped down, then we can probably go ahead and clean Briggs up one more time, degrease it, and get it ready for reassembly. That would be a good time, because I'm looking forward to getting Briggs back together. And once he's all reassembled, then we'll go ahead and scuff it up again, degrease it one more time once it's assembled, and we can go ahead and paint it like the 224 over there with the red and the black. So yeah, Briggs is coming along. It's looking pretty good. We got the valves pretty much done. We got the cylinder done, and the hone looks way better. This all looks pretty good. These rings measured out and checked out okay in the cylinder that was here. It's ready to go back together. I'll go ahead and put it together with this piston and see how it runs. I may go ahead and pop it out and change the rings later if it needs the rings. But you know, it's coming along. It's coming along really good. And yeah, let me get the valves finished up on top. Wow, that was quite a job, because my little suction cup tools here didn't want to stick to these valves. These valves are indented or concave or whatever you call that, you know, where they like that. They didn't want to stick to them, and they're kind of textured too. They're not smooth, so I couldn't get a good seal. I wound up using some tape rolled up and stuck on the valve to get it to stick enough to work it. I tried hot glue and that didn't work, but I got the double back, the tape rolled up on the valve seemed to work good. The seats look really nice inside, perfect. If you look at the valves show a nice little even line all the way around, actually pretty deep too. I can't believe that. It's a good probably 32nd, maybe a 1/16 of an inch wide. I mean, it looks like it seats really nice on those valves. Really good. Both of them are the same way. Turned out really nice. Really nice. Now I need to wash the block again, degrease it, get all the compound out of it for cutting the valves. Just generally just wash the block up. I want to keep it clean. I don't want it to happen like the Monster 212, where I left some debris in there and it got dirty and messed things up. So I'm gonna take some time right now to clean up the block really good, scrub it with a toothbrush, you know, degrease it, soap it, everything, rinse it out, blow it out with the air gun, and get it really super clean. Unfortunately, this is all the time I've got today. It took me a long time to do what I did, and well, I like the results. I really like the hone, and I really like the way the valves turned out. It all looks really good. But yeah, now it's time to definitely wash it all out again and get it all super clean, get all the compound out of there, get the greases out of there, oils and everything, because I've been lubricating it as I've been doing it. But now it's time to get it all clean and ready for reassembly. And I promise in the next video we'll start putting it back together, and we'll try to get Briggs started up again. So thanks for watching. Give the video a thumbs up if you liked it, and always come back to DIY Willy for your Briggs builds, your Predator, your Nissan Frontiers, your Chevy Silverados, your Suzuki Samurais, whatever you want, you know, whatever you need or whatever you want to check it out. We're going to be doing some content on the Volkswagen again, the blue one, but we're definitely going to work on Briggs next. And I've got some parts ordered for the 5-horse Briggs. The Raptor, I'm assuming it's a Raptor. It may not be, but I'm assuming it's a Raptor. And well, we got parts coming, and we'll continue these builds. Yeah, so with that said, I'll see you guys next time. Bye.